In 2003, one of the most famous kidnappings of the 21st century took place. A young child was taken by a group of hunters and locked up in a dentist's office. The child's father left everything behind and went on an epic journey to rescue him, crossing the oceans with a friend he met along the way. When he finally made it to the city where his son was being held, he found this place that you're seeing behind me. He immediately began looking for the address, P. Shelby, 42 Wallaby Way in Sydney, to find his son. In the end, he did it. He rescued his son. That kid's name is Nemo, and yep, they made a whole movie about it. Today, here I am in Sydney, the city where it all happened. Behind me, you can see the iconic Opera House and the famous Harbour Bridge. In 2023, Sydney was ranked one of the top 5 cities to live in around the world. Since I'm here, we'll dive into the city, explore the food, the stories, the history, and meet some locals. You know the same old stuff, so let's do this. You've probably never seen the Opera House from this angle before. That's how it looks from behind. Back in 1770, Captain Cook landed on Australia's east coast and claimed it as a British colony. Right now, I'm at Botany Bay, located about 30 minutes away from downtown Sydney. This is the exact spot where Captain James Cook first set foot on the Australian continent. He arrived to this exact place. Today, you can come to see the beach and to visit this place. At first, Britain didn't know what to do with the land. But when they lost the American colonies during the Revolution, this newly discovered land came in handy because Britain needed a new place to send its prisoners to. And that's basically how the modern Australia we all know about came to be. We're kicking off this video at the Sydney Opera House, the city's most iconic landmark. And today, you will have the chance to see it from 17 different angles. I've been waiting to see this place since I was a kid. So I feel like I have to explore the entire city and see it from every angle. Joining me on this adventure today is my friend Yusra, an Australian photographer, but she's a bit too busy. Everything's good?
Good.
Yusra was born in Australia, but she's Palestinian. She knows all about the country and its culture, so hopefully she'll share some cool insights with us. Right next to the Opera House is the Botanical Garden, a park filled with trees and wildlife. It's perfect for a stroll and the views here are incredible. Check this out. From here you can see the Harbour Bridge, and if you turn around you can see the Opera House, the sea and the bridge. If you ever take a walk through this garden, trust me, you'll love it.
It's about an hour, from 2:30 to 4.
Here's another view of the Opera House, this time from inside the Botanical Garden. It feels like the whole Australian population is in a rush. But I'm not sure why. I came across a blood tree, which I've actually seen before in Socotra, Yemen. I didn't expect to find it here. It looks so unique. Apparently it fell during a storm and broke, so they just left it like that to continue growing. In the garden, you'll see a wide variety of birds. Look at this huge bamboo stalk behind me, and there are some massive trees around here, probably the biggest trees I've ever seen. Look at the size difference between my hand and this leaf. One is big enough to do a whole tray of stuffed grape leaves. This path is called Palm Walk, with palm trees from all around the world. You will see palm trees everywhere around here. There's a lizard right in front of me. Check this out. This tree trunk is as thick as an elephant. I've never seen a tree this massive before. By the way, I recently ordered some travel products from a site called Temu. I ordered it to Australia and it came with free shipping. The best part was that I paid exactly what it said on the site and the shipping was free. The products are unique, practical for travel, and super affordable. I just got it, so I wanted to open it together. That's our order. Let's go ahead and unbox it together to see what's inside. Oh wow. Oops. The first thing I'm excited to try is this. It only costs $5, and it can help you detect hidden cameras in hotel rooms. Next up, it is a portable luggage scale. It's easy to carry when traveling. There's this holder. You can use it to hold your phone on the plane. This holder is great for watching your favorite movies or shows while you're traveling. Oh, and I also got this Japanese kimono that we'll try later on. I found this strange product while I was shopping. It's a fingerprint lock. I also picked up an international adapter, so I can use electricity no matter where I am. This one cost me $5 and the other was just $4. Finally, I got this hiking gadget. Do you know what this is? It's a pack of 100 towels that look like tiny pills. But as soon as you add water, they expand into these mini-sized towels. Look at this. As soon as I poured water on it, it started opening up. It's a towel. You can use it to wash your face, wipe your hands, or pretty much anything else. It's a tiny pill-sized piece that expands into a mini towel, and you can get 100 of these pills for just $5. Lastly, check out this filter I ordered. It lets you drink water from any source. Even if the water is from a dirty stream, the filter makes it safe to drink. It comes with a straw. Just stick it and start sipping. If you've ever shopped on Temu, you've probably noticed their prices are way lower than most other online stores. That's because Temu is different. On other sites, there's usually a middleman who buys from the manufacturer first, which adds an extra step because the merchant has to buy the product, store it, and then ship it, which adds extra costs for storage and handling. But with Temu, the manufacturer sends it straight to you, skipping the middleman entirely. So you don't pay anything for the middleman merchant, or the storage, or even the shipping, because guess what? They offer free delivery to most countries worldwide. Finally found a spider while walking in Australia. We were about to leave the garden. And I spotted a spider nest between this pole and the tree. Wait, let me show you. Look, there are 2 spiders, not just one. They're feasting on a bug, sucking out its insides. Can you see that? You know how spiders eat, right? Okay, so because spiders don't have teeth, they release digestive enzymes that can turn their prey's insides into some sort of liquid. So they can suck up the juice and enjoy their meal. So here's one munching on its meal and... Oh wait, there's another weird-looking insect over there. Wait, a flying spider, a flying spider. Did you see that? Are you Australian? No. That's why you're amazed.
Yeah.
Okay. When I saw that they were as shocked as me, I thought, there's no way they're Australians. Turns out, they're not Australians. Because look how true Australians behave. How many of these do you see at home?
A lot. That's pretty normal for us. Look there.
For you, though, is this a big deal?
No, not really.
Aren't you afraid of them?
No, not at all.
Why?
Because you see them and have to remove them every day. By the way, after a few minutes of removing the web, they build another.
The palm trees felt so familiar, but now, after seeing this spider, it finally feels like Australia. Oh, and look at that grapevine leaf. It's the biggest one I've ever seen in my life. This is the kind of leaf we use to make grapevine rolls.
Look at this view.
We're leaving the botanical garden now, but we've got another angle of the opera house. Look at the bridge in the background. So I decided after seeing that first spider that my mission today is to find spiders and snakes. It just feels right. Hi, excuse me.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, good thanks. How are you?
Good. Where can I find the most spiders?
Spiders?
In
Spiders.
Trees.
In the trees.
Yeah.
It's the right season for spiders.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
Have a
luck.
good day. Any snakes?
I don't think
Let's hope
so.
not.
Yusra, what's that? When you come across a spot like this, it probably means free Wi-Fi. Not only that, but you can also make phone calls without paying a thing. But then why does it have a payment sign? Just for the show? Oh, you called yourself. Nice. You can also make international calls, but not for free. You'll have to pay for that. This building in front of us is the tallest one in Sydney. One of the most popular breakfasts in Australia, from what I've heard from people here, is something called açaí. You know açaí, the Brazilian fruit that's like a type of berry? I'm not sure, but I think they turn it into ice cream. I haven't tried it yet, but they add fruits and nuts on top. Sounds interesting, right? They say açaí is a super healthy breakfast, so let's give it a shot. This bowl costs 17 Australian dollars, about 15 US dollars. Cheers! Actually, Australians don't even have one specific food culture, because people here came from so many different parts of the world. About 65% of Australia's population has parents born overseas, so you can imagine how diverse the food scene is. So they mixed and matched and created their own food culture. The only culture that's truly native to Australia is that of the indigenous tribes. They have their own foods and traditions, but we'll save exploring that for another time, not here in Sydney. Now we've arrived at Hyde Park, probably the oldest park in Sydney. It was created by the first settlers when they started the colony. Let's check out a new angle of the Opera House. This has to be the best lighting I've seen for the Opera House. It's almost dusk, and the color is this soft, creamy white without the harsh sunlight. If you were standing here back in 2003 and looked behind you, you might have seen two people climbing the Opera House with just their hands and feet, no equipment at all. They actually made it to the top. And when they got there, they had one message. They painted two words in red. No war. They painted those words in protest of the Iraq War that started in 2003. These human rights activists wanted to send a message to the whole world that the people of Australia stood in solidarity with the Iraqi people. In interviews later on, they explained why they chose this place and said that they were frustrated with just doing graffiti and protests in hidden streets around Sydney. They wanted their message to be seen worldwide, so they picked a spot that people everywhere would immediately recognize as being in Australia. They wanted everyone to know they stood with the Iraqi people. So exactly right there on top of the Opera House, they wrote their message, "No war." Of course, the activists who did that were caught immediately after painting the message, and they ended up going to trial and were fined $150,000. It was a lot because they had used a special kind of paint on the Opera House, one that couldn't be washed off easily with water. They wanted their message to stick around and not just vanish in 10 minutes. In the end, it actually took 2 full weeks to clean it off. To pay the fine, they printed postcards with an image of the Opera House with "No War" written on them. They sold them on the streets, and the public, who already knew their whole story, decided to support them. In the end, they raised the $150,000 just by selling these souvenirs of the Opera House. There's actually a lot of fun facts about the Opera House. The Opera House is one of those landmarks that everyone instantly associates with Sydney, just like the Eiffel Tower in Paris, Petra in Jordan, or the Statue of Liberty in the US. Though liberty doesn't always seem to be the message these days, one of the Opera House's most iconic features is its roof, which is covered in almost 1 million white tiles. You guys might not even notice the tiles, but up close, you can see how each one helps make the Opera House's famous design. It was originally estimated to cost $7 million, but it ended up costing $107 million. Now that we're here, let's see how close we can get to the Opera House without actually having to buy a ticket. This area looks like it's for cafes and restaurants, but it seems like they're only open during special events. This place might not be the best fit for us, and if you're curious about what the tiles look like up close, here they are. From a distance, the Opera House looks grand, but up close it's simple. It's just made of these small tiles. Now imagine that the activists climbed these tiles. Can you imagine climbing only with your bare hands on these slippery tiles? They made it all the way up to the top of the opera house and painted just 2 words. They really risked their lives because, as you can see, this must have been so difficult to achieve. And this is how the opera house looks like from behind. I've traveled to a lot of amazing places that I will always remember. And I think Sydney's harbour will definitely stay with me, because this building is a true masterpiece. I love it. One thing you don't want to do here, especially around Sydney Harbour, is sit down with food. The moment you unwrap anything, the seagulls will spot you from a mile away and swarm you. I've seen them steal food right from people's hands. They're really persistent. Unless, of course, you're up for the challenge. Just look at all these seagulls. To learn more about the city's history and stories, I decided to join one of the free walking tours around the city. Well, it's not technically free, because you have to tip the guide at the end. But at least we'll learn about the city. This is the free walking tour?
Yes, absolutely. Did you book online?
No.
You just start walking up?
Yeah.
All good, all good. We should have room, I believe. 50, 25? Yeah, it should be all good. Would you like a map?
No, it's fine.
Gadigal people have been on these lands for at least 30,000 years. However, most of what we see around us today represents modern colonial history. And in mind, the land we walk on always was, and always will be, Aboriginal land. With all of that out of the way, we can begin our tour. We're here 200 years ago. This is a terrible spot to start a tour. This was the site of Sydney's first graveyard. A bunch of these bodies are buried just below the soil.
Do you see that white bird with a black head and long beak? It's one of the most hated birds in Sydney. You'll often find it around trash, making everything dirty. The thing is, this bird isn't even native to Sydney.
Unfortunately, in the 70s, drought wiped out the majority of their environment, and human encroachment pretty much did in the rest. Where we have lost so many other species to stories just like that, the ibis lives on, surviving and thriving inside of our garbage.
Because it's so adaptable, it made its way to Sydney. Out of nowhere, these birds started showing up in huge numbers, right in the heart of the city. They've been annoying people ever since, always hovering around garbage and leaving behind a smell. And they're always trying to steal people's food. There aren't many countries where people actually eat their national animals, but here in Australia, they actually do that. Because they eat kangaroos, which is their national animal. They put kangaroo on everything, burgers, steaks. But hey, since we're in Australia, we've got to try it. So I'm on the hunt for a spot that serves kangaroo burgers. I've also heard it's actually healthy because it's high in protein and low in fat. I'm in the Rocks area now, and I hear there's a place here that serves kangaroo. Time to find it. After a quick search, I found a cafe that serves kangaroo burgers. It's called the Rocks Cafe. I found it finally. I want kangaroo burger without cheese. How often do people eat kangaroo?
Oh, quite often actually. People will come here to eat.
It looks like any other burger, but this meat is kangaroo meat. So today we're going to try a kangaroo burger. Let's see what it tastes like. A lot of people told me they eat kangaroo meat. It's kind of like in the Gulf countries where camel meat is pretty common. So yeah, eating kangaroo is totally normal. I'm not sure how I feel about the taste yet, but let me try just the meat itself. The burger is tasty, mayo and some interesting toppings, but the kangaroo's meat, there's nothing extraordinary about it. It has a natural flavor, but you can tell it's lean. There is not much fat in it, unlike what you'd normally find in beef or lamb. If I ordered a regular beef burger and got kangaroo meat instead, I probably wouldn't notice the difference. The kangaroo burger is worth the hype. It's actually good. The meat is really tasty, but in this burger, it's the special sauce that makes it special. Today, the 15th of May, marks the anniversary of the Palestinian Nakba. I'm in one of the main areas of the city. We are near the municipality. Here many people have gathered to protest in commemoration of the Nakba and to show solidarity with our people in Gaza. These people here are holding signs, quoting Amnesty International's report calling Israel an apartheid state. These people are Jews who stand in support of Palestine.
76 years of ethnic cleansing are now set. Of massacres, of racist settler colonialism brought by Western superpowers. Intifada revolution!
I've just returned to the hotel and will test this hidden camera detector. It works by reflecting light off the camera lens, so if there's any hidden camera nearby, you'll see the lens reflection in here. Here I am in my hotel room. See anything unusual? You can spot the device, right? We're going to turn off the lights, press the red button, and hold it near the lens. You'll notice a small red dot strangely reflecting the light. Here we have the drone camera, so that's why there's a reflection. Look at how much light it's reflecting. You could easily spot it from a distance. This device is designed to detect tiny spy cameras. Now I'm heading down to the living room. Let's see what we can find down there. My dear, it's a nice place. So far I haven't spotted any cameras. But if you look over there, you can see this obvious camera. But notice how it's reflecting the light. Makes it so easy to spot. I was going to wear this Japanese kimono I bought from Temu in the video, but unfortunately it's too cold for something. So light. I've been wanting to get a nice kimono for a while, and I think I found the perfect one. It only cost $7.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
So I decided to take a walk on the Harbour Bridge. It offers an incredible view of the Sydney Harbour area. The Harbour Bridge is considered the largest steel arch in the world. It stretches over 1,149 meters. And they used around 53,000 tons of steel to build it. If you look at the sides of the bridge, you'll see these towers. See this one here? There's another one on the other side. These towers are decorative. They don't serve any functional purpose. They've also put up mesh on the sides of the bridge. Probably to prevent people from jumping. There are sharp spikes on top to make climbing harder. Honestly, if someone wanted to jump, would those stop them? See these towers? They're pointless. But if you want something more adventurous, you can climb the bridge. There's a tour that takes you to the top, where you'll see the flag. The experience costs about $300 though, and I didn't think it was worth it. If you look at the view from the top of the bridge, on one side you'll see the Australian flag, but on the other side you'll see the flag that is widespread around Australia, and that's the Aboriginal community's flag. This represents the indigenous peoples of Australia, whose history is deep and complex. We'll talk more about this in another video. Today, there's an ongoing effort in Australia to acknowledge the past wrongs like the massacres, the forced displacement, and the efforts to erase Aboriginal culture. While there's been progress in recognizing their rights and culture, it's not enough, and much work remains to be done. Because they really did a lot of horrific things to the indigenous people. I just entered the metro station and it's so convenient. No need for a separate transportation card. You can use your bank card or Apple Pay. Check this out. On Australian trains, there's something really interesting. See those chairs? If you're in the mood to socialize, you can sit facing other passengers. But if you prefer more privacy, just do this. And you'll sit alone for the rest of the ride. If you feel sociable again, just return the seat to its original position. Where am I now? I'm heading to a place that anyone born in the 90s would recognize. It's P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby in Sydney. If you don't know the address, it's where Nemo was kidnapped. So I expect it's somewhere on this street. I've got no idea what's there. Most likely there's nothing useful at P. Sherman. According to Google Maps, I'm in the right place, but there's nothing special here. But look here, I'm definitely at the right address. There's nothing here right now. To get around the city, there are lots of bikes like these. I'm using the Lime app, which gave me an hour to ride. The 1 hour ride using this bike, booked through the app, costs about $10 US, and you can use it anytime within 3 days. Since Australia is famous for its wildlife, I thought I'd visit a zoo. It's called Wildlife Sydney Zoo. They have a much bigger zoo up on the mountain, but it takes a whole day to visit. I don't have that much time though, just 2 hours. The ticket costs about $40 US. Anything with a fee here is pretty expensive, but there are also a lot of affordable things to do. There's something important about Australia I should mention. No matter where you go, whether it's a place, a speech, or an event, you'll always notice that they include what's called the Acknowledgement of the Indigenous Tribes. So when I entered the park, I saw this sign hanged here saying, "They acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which they are based, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and pay respects to their elders, past, present, and future." Even yesterday at the Palestine protest, the first thing they said was the same acknowledgement. When you enter the zoo, you'll see a kangaroo. This one's called a tree kangaroo because it climbs trees. There are about 42 different types of kangaroos in Australia, not just one. This is the first time I'm seeing this. If you watch Tasmania on Spacetoon, you might be familiar with the real Tasmanian devil. It's found in Tasmania Island. Behind me you can see a photo of the animal, and here's what the real animal looks like. It is supposed to be here. I saw it just a minute ago, but now I'm not sure where it went. I can't see it now. Ah, there it is, it's sleeping. I just passed by the snakes and an animal called a wombat that is only found in Australia, and there are also a lot of bird species. Most of the animals in Australia cannot be found anywhere else in the world. You won't find them in any other zoo. I think we've just entered the lizard and crocodile section, and there's an animal here I've never seen before. It looks like a crocodile, but smaller, with a head shaped almost like a pine nut that became an animal. Why are you hiding from me, little bro? It's actually the first time I've seen this reptile. It looks like a pine nut, a really long pine nut that fell from a tree. and then turned into a crocodile. Let's see some crocodiles. Look at its teeth, isn't that crazy? Have you ever been this close to a crocodile? By the way, crocodile meat is delicious. One of them just went into the water. Look at her head. And here's her body. It really has an intimidating presence, right? Crocodiles have this crazy, scary aura about them. I've seen them before at zoos and out in the wild. I even saw them in the Amazon. But I've never been this close. There's barely 10 centimeters between me and their teeth. The last animal I wanted to see was the koala, but, you know, koalas are always sleeping. Unfortunately, he's asleep right now. This place is great for anyone who wants to see Australia's wildlife. It's a quick visit. You can spend about 2 hours here and see everything you're curious about. Sydney was the first city where a colony was established in Australia. Captain James Cook brought about 1,000 convicts from Britain. They wanted to get rid of them because their prisons were overcrowded. So what did they do? They shipped them off to Australia. They sent over Irish revolutionaries, political prisoners, and even the poor. If someone was caught stealing a piece of bread, that was enough for them to ship him to Australia. Australia became the destination for anyone causing any kind of trouble back home. They gathered about 1,000 people with minor crimes and sent them here just to get rid of them. They brought them to Sydney in 1788, and they didn't even bother to build a prison. It was useless, because let's say they wanted to escape, where would they even go? So they left them here, and then used them as free labor to help build the first colony and support the settlers who came after. And that's how Sydney began. So that's Sydney's story. Most places you'll find in Sydney today aren't ancient. The oldest things here date back to the 1800s. You can't find anything older than that. I'm currently staying at a hostel here in Australia, and it costs 35 euros per night. Check out this lock I bought from Temu. I think it was for about $7. This lock only opens with my fingerprint, which is useful when you're staying at a hostel because you always need a locker. But to lock it, you need your padlock. With a key lock, it's a hassle. You have to carry the keys and risk losing them. So when I found this lock, I was pretty excited. I'm going to use it. I can lock it like this. And if anyone tries to open it, they won't be able to, because their fingerprint isn't recognized. See how it gives a red light? But when I use the correct finger, it unlocks instantly. Such a cool invention. I'm at the University of Sydney, one of the top universities in the world, ranked in the top 20 globally. And look what I found when I arrived. See this camp? This is the student camp set up in solidarity with our people in Gaza. They've been here for almost 2 weeks, gathering every day to hold lectures about Palestine, the history, the cause, and the Palestinian conflict. Right now, most of the people at the camp are over there. They're attending a lecture now, and everyone is currently living in one of these tents you're seeing here. They're staying until the war ends. This is putting a lot of pressure on the university to cancel any contracts with companies that support Zionism. It's also pressuring the government to show that Australian students stand with Palestine. A lot of impactful work is happening here. It's something to be proud of. And they've set up the camp in the most central spot on the entire campus. Good morning, everyone. Today, we drove 2 hours from Sydney to a must-see destination for anyone visiting the city, the Blue Mountains. I'm here today with a group of friends I've known for a while, and some new people I just met today. There's Rand, a Palestinian who's been living in Australia, right?
Yes, for 13 years.
And that's her family, her mother, Limar, Aboud, and also Sabrine, who's talented at photography. I met her through Instagram along with Amani and Yasmin. We've just arrived and we're about to start our hike. We'll be seeing some amazing views soon.
Our track today. We're going down into the canyon. It's a very beautiful track.
Have you got medications for snake bites, spider bites?
All circumstances, because in Australia you just don't know what you're going to see.
Okay.
We have the 2 deadliest snakes in New South Wales.
Oh, have you been bitten before?
I have actually.
Oh,
Yeah, this was before I knew like what to do with snakes. I didn't realize I had no reception that day. I jumped into the bush to like take a photo. And then yeah, I got bitten and I just kept walking. And that's the worst thing you could possibly do.
Was it poisonous or venomous?
Luckily it wasn't.
She's alive.
If it
Yeah.
was, I wouldn't be here today, but you know.
How often do people die of snake bites?
It's not that it's not as common because snakes don't usually come to attack you. Like they'll just slither away.
Okay.
It's unless you accidentally step on it or you are, a threat to the snake. But you just need to know your proper first aid because if you get bitten, you'll be alright. Like if you get bitten and you don't do the first aid, within 15 minutes you can die from a brown snake. But if you do the proper first aid, you'll be alright for like 8 hours until help comes. By that time, you'll get the anti-venom and you'll be alright.
Oh, and fun fact, they told me today that the brown snake, which is like the deadliest snake ever, happens to be super common around here. What a great way to start the hike. Thankfully, we haven't encountered any so far. Let's hope it stays that way.
You know what's nice about the Blue Mountains? They really make you feel like you're so small.
Yeah.
En je into je hek, everything is so big, you feel like a hummelmak. It's so small.
True. Wow. This reminds me of Venezuela.
Really? Yeah.
We just started the hike and look how beautiful this first view is. These mountains reminded me of Venezuela's Caniama Mountains. The way the mountain slopes down with plains below, wow. The view is really stunning. This place here is called the Blue Mountains. Can you tell us why?
Because in the morning there are trees here, called the eucalyptus trees, that release a kind of substance into the air, and this substance when it rises reflects only blue light.
So the mountains look blue.
Exactly as you can see.
You can see that blue reflection coming from the trees. It gives the whole landscape this unique bluish tint. As we descended into the valley, we felt like entering a magical gateway. It's like we're stepping into a dream world below the mountain. I hope we see some animals and enjoy more beautiful views. The sight of the mountains through the trees is magical.
New Zealand, been a couple of times.
Yeah.
But I hope to soon. So I think that's probably.
So would you say this is the most common hike?
It is a very popular hike in the Blue Mountains.
Okay.
If you come to the Blue Mountains, you've got to come to the Grand Canyon, see the Three Sisters, go to Scenic World if you can.
Okay.
It's incredible. If you just look around, I think it explains why.
Sabrine spends most of her time hiking in the mountains of Australia and exploring nature. So, if you want to see Australia's landscapes, check out her Instagram. We've been walking for 45 minutes and the scenery between the mountains is stunning. This place is called a canyon because it's like a passage between two mountains. Along the way, we've come across rivers and beautiful spots like this one.
Look at that waterfall!
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Hi, how are you? Good, how are you? Good, thank you.
How many times have you done this hike?
I think this is my 3rd time.
What about you?
Maybe.
10?
Maybe 5th time.
Do you
probably.
still enjoy it?
I mean, it's the company that makes up for it, eh? No, you can't get enough of it.
Sabrine just told me it's not safe to drink river water, but I'm going to give it a try.
No matter where you are, you've always got to filter your water. You just don't know. Sometimes it's in locations that you don't know where the running water's coming from, especially if you don't look at the map.
Someone might have feet in the water. Yeah, I know.
I forgot how much this costs. Maybe $10? Anyway, I'll try drinking water using it because it should filter the water.
Tastes weird.
It removes germs and dirt and cleans the water, though it doesn't exactly make the water taste great. Here's how it works. Inside the filter is some kind of carbon, I think, though I'm not sure what is it exactly. But the important thing is that it removes harmful bacteria and dirt, so you can enjoy any water safely.
The audience. Thank you, thank you.
I hope you enjoyed the show. Does anyone want to give it a try?
If you're not dead by then, we can use it again on the way back.
Alright, let's go. I think I bought this super useful water filter from Temu for about $10 to $15. It lets you drink up to 300 liters of water from places like this or anywhere else. Actually, this is pretty useful and so cool. I can't believe there's a place like this just an hour to an hour and a half outside of Sydney. It's amazing to be in the middle of such a powerful nature.
When we need to recharge, we go for a hike here.
One of the famous trails here is this trail you're seeing behind this waterfall. Nice. You're doing great. You're so powerful. Seriously, even without a break, you're crushing it. Whew. We're almost there. I swear to God, we've passed through all kinds of terrain. I haven't seen a single spider or snake. Australia, you're letting me down. We've made it back to the road after finishing the loop through the forest. That's it for today. The trail's called the Grand Canyon. Now we're heading back to the car for our next spot. Where are we going?
Right now, we're on our way to the Three Sisters.
The Three Sisters?
Yes, the Three Sisters.
No brothers?
Just sisters.
Oh, okay, just sisters. There's a famous spot here in the Blue Mountains called the Three Sisters. There are these three rocks with a story. I'm not sure what it is, but we'll go check it out. It's a major landmark. Anyone visiting the Blue Mountains has to see the Three Sisters.
There's a story behind it. We'll look it up.
Let me look their story up. Where are the Three Sisters?
Where are they?
Where are they?
Oh.
Finally, we've arrived at the Three Sisters.
These are the Kardashians of Australia.
Well, no, they're beautiful.
That's nice. What a view. Not bad, honestly.
Today?
What today?
Just today. Today we're here with the Three Sisters.
Now the sun is shining on them. Hold this, I'm going to fly the drone.
Sabrina's going to tell us the story of the Three Sisters.
So once upon a time, a very long time ago,
Called the Three
there were three sisters who loved these three men from different tribes, and they wanted to get married. And so what happened? I can't do this.
You can. He's going to cut it here, and now he's going to cut it. Cut. All right, cut. And then now we're going to...
The three men ended up capturing the three sisters, and during And so the witch doctor ended up turning them into stone, the three sisters, because they didn't want them to.
They didn't follow the rules.
They didn't.
Of the land.
Yep, that.
So these are the three sisters, arguably the most iconic landmark in the Blue Mountains and a must-see for every visitor. There are several trails around here where you can walk and view them from different angles. We're back to Sydney. For dinner, we're trying an Afghan restaurant in an Afghani neighborhood. Everything's written in Dari here, in Persian language. The restaurant is called Kabul, and they say it has the best Afghan food in the whole town. Hello?
Hello, bro. How are you?
Good, thank you. We've ordered and the food's here. Enjoy, everyone. In Sydney, each neighborhood is home to a different community. This is the Afghan neighborhood, but you'll also find areas for Arabs, Lebanese, Indians, and Bangladeshis. Maybe we'll visit them later on. May your journeys be many and your adventures endless.